host for I'll be your host for today, and we're gonna have a next 1.5 hour of an engaging discussion with our folks, and panelists here. So, CEO Story, as we all know, is an outreach initiative and which brings up together the alumni of PGPMAX to share their experiences. And it's our opportunity to ask them any questions about the program, experiences, post-program impact on their careers, and anything else which we may have any queries about the program. So I'll appreciate all of you to ask your questions as part of the Q&A box available on the Zoom call, and we'll take up all the questions intermittently across the entire duration of a session. And also, as a head start, we have received few questions from all of you, which we will start off asking our panelists Raghu and Arijit on the call today, and then we'll take up intermittently all the questions as we go further. So, just to call out, QA is limited to our alumni experience and the panelist. So any queries about the program or the admissions, we will share all the information toward the end of a session, and then we'll be happy to take up any kind of one-to-one conversations as appropriate with any of you. So with all this and any more further delay, I'll still get started. Welcome Arijit, welcome Raghuram. It's great to have you on board. So I'll quickly run through your quick introductions, and then we'll open up for like multiple questions that we had planned up for you and for to receive your insights. So Arijit, we have with us is a Chief Business Officer at Hendrix. It's part of our PGPMAX alumni batch of 2011 and based in Bangalore. Welcome, Arijit. It's great to have you on board. And then we have Raghuram. And we have Raghuram with us, who's an Army veteran, co-founder, and a Chief Product Officer at Aspecto and based in Hyderabad. He's from the batch of PGPMAX, batch of 2020. Welcome, Raghu. It's great to have you on board here. Just a quick update to all of you who's joined us on phone. We were also expecting Mridul Bhatia, but apparently I think she's been out sick and had some personal emergency, so she couldn't make it. So we'll probably have her on board with us sometime in our future sessions. With this being said, let's quickly get started. And I'll start off with you, Arijit. You've joined one of the early batches of PGPMAX in 2010, right? And while you were at Schneider and working as a business development and channel software. So with all these important roles across the business importance, and now being at Chief Business Officer, walk us through your journey, right? How do you decide for the PGPMAX? How that's helped you in your career journey, and from where you start in 2010 versus now in 2023, it's about more than a decade. So how it's been for you from there till now?
Yeah, thanks for inviting me today, and a good hello to all of you who have joined this session. Yes, I have been with Schneider prior joining to ISB's PGPMAX program, and what convinced me to take this course was primarily, I was typically an R&D guy, okay, who was always in love of building something new, okay. But over a period of time, I realized is that somewhere the technology and the aspect of technology is driving me so deep that I am losing the complete realm of business around. Okay? And that's where internally also in the organization, I moved out from R&D and started looking at business development and marketing. And to double it up, I realized that I should get into a course which can evolve my knowledge in the various verticals. And I am at the same time PGPMAX. As you mentioned, I was the founding batch, so it was introductory course coming up from PGPMAX, and ISB as a reputed, one of the most reputed institution. It was given. We made I would say the first test, okay, and we took the risk of entering into a course which was not laid out as it is laid out today. But we knew that ISB, for the brand it carries, okay, and the kind of the faculty that they will be bringing in, flying in from different locations, and the kind of course, it was very obvious that it will be a great course to continue. The structure was very interesting because prior to that, most of the executive courses were weekend courses, You work on the week and then you go on a weekend. And my experience with other colleagues was that spoils the weekday and weekend completely, right? And you are next day you again go back to office and you lose touch on what you have studied, right?
Yeah.
Whereas ISB came with a very brilliant structure where you have an in-campus session, okay? And whoever has done this course can well appreciate that working with the entire cohort in a campus is a completely different experience altogether, right? So that structure was very unique, okay? And maybe I do not know currently other institutes follow this structure or not, but we gain a lot because it is not only with the class and the faculty that you learn, it is the entire team dynamics that starts playing, okay? So we, though a lot of us, though when I joined, I think I was having a 10 plus experience, and but I had classmates who were maybe 15 years, 20 years experience, okay? But we started playing like I would say like school guys, kids, okay? So we used to do prank, we used to, but what had helped is that we had a very diverse kind of understanding of different fields, whether it is legal, whether it is say law, supply chain, whether it was not to do with corporate governance. So a lot of different things started. It was like a melting pot. Okay? So I will pause here and I will say what happened next. Okay. So what happened next is far more interesting because a lot of people who later on joined, and I was part of the panel interviews in several cohorts. So the first and the elementary question was, what is the ROI? Okay, and because a lot of money is spent in doing this course, and generally, it is like the ROI should also return in terms of money. Okay, so you invest X, you should at least make more than X. That is not typical understanding. But what happened in my case was slightly different, right? Because once I was also one of those guys who thought the same way, that I will at least increase my salary after coming out of this course or do something. But when I entered into the course and I got interacted with a lot of guys who were themselves entrepreneur, okay, and I got so interested that creating new, because I was, as I said earlier itself, I was always a product guy, okay, and now I saw that being entrepreneur is the next logical thing after doing this. So I came back to my company and I felt that it is not going really well, and it's time to look at something very interesting. And during my course, during in Kellogg and Wharton, okay, I realized that the education system in India versus a developed nation is so diverse, so different, right? Quality of education. So that's when I started getting this kind of desire to change the quality of education, and I took the risk of leaving a very cozy job, and I was supposed to get promoted to the vice president, and I left it and I started my own, and that was the biggest, I would say, from an ROI perspective. I made a big career shift and I became an entrepreneur. And long story short, I moved on, and now I am now doing another business which is into the contact center and customer experience. And this is not a touchwood. We are trying to grow it into international market. And I would say that ROI, guys, cannot be mapped from X that you invest, it will become 1.5X or 2X or whatever, right? It's a different career shift I made completely. And I would not say it was just because of PGPMAX, but something was brewing, and PGPMAX acted as a catalyst to make it happen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. I think, like I so well echo with you, considering at least from the starting point, the way you did, because I come from technology side, right? And then we always feel that we are so confined into our space that the whole vision, the whole outside world is so blurred that we don't have much knowledge. So I think all these things definitely helps us to expand our horizon. So much well said, and absolutely agree with you, spot on. And congratulations on your move from being part of a corporate to having your own corporate now. So I think well done, great job. So Raghu, okay, let me move on to you. And I think you've had a very unconventional ride, right? From being into an army and now being an army veteran into from the energy space and now having your own venture. Your journey again has been kind of at a different level altogether. So now you help us understand, what was your rationale behind getting into this program, and what like how that has triggered your journey from army to where you stand right now. So help us with your insights, please.
Right. When I left army purely for personal reasons. I had some injuries during service, and I had to I reached a point where I needed to take a break, and I felt that's the right time to probably shift to corporate, spend more time with the family. So my first job after army was with a renewable energy firm, and so I was the business head for three of their verticals. And these 2+ years that I spent with them gave me an amazing experience, at a senior level, how the business owners think and take decisions and run their firms. So it was not only about setting up planning and setting up solar plants. It was also the third business that I set up for them was the e-vehicles, wherein we had to set up their assembly lines, the dealership networks, the sales and distribution network. So it gave me an amazing experience. But when I asked myself the question that if can I run this business on my own, I realized that I had some knowledge gaps within myself, and the only way I could cover those gaps was through a very structured program. So that was when I decided to do a proper MBA, and the choice was between PGP and PGPMAX. I had got admission into both the programs. Now, what made it easy for me to take a decision, to go ahead with PGPMAX was purely, the cross section of the cohort that I would be doing the course with. I had already had experience of, in the government. I was working in the ministry and handling thousands of crores of budget. And then at a senior level in the corporate, I had a good idea of how the businesses are run. But the inputs that I wanted could only be, answered by people who are at a reasonably senior level. And that's what attracted me towards the PGPMAX program, wherein the average experience in my cohort itself was nearly 15 to 18 years. And coming from diverse backgrounds, somebody is coming from retail, someone is coming from cement sector. So you get a holistic view of what's happening at a senior level in multiple sectors. So it was a fairly straightforward decision for me, and I think it's one of the best decisions I have taken, uh, because like Arijit said, the concept of ROI. For me, it was mostly people have a very tangible thought when it comes to ROI. For me, it was very intangible. For me, I was very clear what I wanted from this program, and that was keeping my long term goals in mind of being an entrepreneur myself, and equipping myself with the necessary skill sets to do well in that journey. So another interesting thing that happened during this course was that one of my friends from the same cohort, so we were randomly just chit chatting over tea about some uh, life problems. So that discussion led to us creating the startup. So me and Sujit from the same cohort, we are co-founders of this startup basically. And yeah, like when it comes to the question of ROI, I think probably I might be one of the few people who I might have realized it within the same year itself, because the kind of the amount of money I saved in consultancy fees or in trying to get access to investors or advisors is phenomenal. And it gave me a good credibility, a good brand, and equipped me to actually have very intelligent and high level conversations with people who matter.
Absolutely great. And I think having a clarity what we want from any of the courses we want to enter into, I think it's very important, because otherwise, which does bring up some kind of confusion in terms of we are still doing it, but why and all that. So I think having clarity definitely helps. And great journey, both of you. And I mean, it's very inspiring for me also while I stand on this side of the table, but so inspiring. So I'm so glad I'm having this conversation with both of you at this point in time. So let's move ahead. Considering you already have answered my ROI question, which was following next, I'll still move ahead. So no, while this is a very aggressive course, and we all know that we all come from as part of working for corporates and working on our lives, and then we also have families to address too. And then we have this course which expects us to be in the campus for at least 5 to 7 days every 1.5 months, right? So how do you guys balance the entire work home setup and while pursuing the whole course, which also comes with is demanding of pre-reads and assignments and exams, all that comes as part of the whole package. So what was your mantra to handle the entire work, office front, personal front, and then now the studies front? I'll start with you, Raghu, if in case you want to get started, and then I'll move to Abhijit next.
Yeah, sure. What made it slightly easier for me was that I had already decided. We had started our firm, probably 6 months down the line. So we had already decided to go ahead with it. Now, the initial few terms were definitely tough, and especially because you're not used to studying for so many years. You're out of touch for nearly 15, in some cases 20 years. So getting back to the rhythm of spending so much time reading 150 pages and then preparing yourself, going for the class, and then doing the assignments that night, sitting staying awake till 3 o'clock. So the first term was definitely, it was a shocker for all of us. But then we got used to the rhythm. We started understanding how to manage our time in a better manner. So the first few months when I was still working, I had a very solid second line where, for that 1 week I could actually delegate what the critical issues were, which needed to be addressed. And so that helped me a lot. I managed all my appointments in such a way that, that week was totally free. And once towards the fag end, when things started with the startup and all, I think it was slightly more easier because I was more on the business side. So I'm handling the product development and the business development, and whereas Sujit is the busier guy, who's the tech person in the startup. So he was slightly more busy. In my case, whatever I was learning in the term, I was actually in a way implementing it in either my market research or reaching out to potential clients or advisors, trying to understand the use cases in different sector. So I think to summarize, managing your time, have a good second in command at work, and definitely do your pre-reads. It helps, because they give you in advance. I think they give you nearly 3 weeks in advance for the next term. So I think it definitely helps to, plan your day, spend at least half an hour reading those, so that when you're there in the campus, you can focus 100% on what's being taught. Because I have, from my personal experience, uh, every term I have gained something which was, very valuable, and I could implement it in my business.
Raghu, you started your startup while doing the course or
Yeah,
before?
while doing the course.
Wow, that's interesting.
Super. So I think great, and absolutely agree. And I think I'll have a couple of points to kind of pitch in, but I'll pitch in after but I've heard from Arijit, considering he was part of a global organization working on global responsibilities and then demands at work at home. So what was your mantra for this juggling act?
See, I'll not try to sugarcoat the things. I'll put the whatever is the fact. So first of all, no, being a multinational and then doing your own entrepreneurship, you see what is really a workload. Okay, So usually in MNCs, right now, if I reflect back and I say the MNC life was cool, okay, it was not that pillar to post running and setting up everything. So I don't think that there was tremendous work on my table that I could not take my time out. Second thing is that I was actually a sponsored candidate. Okay, so the company actually knew that I am going for this course, and there was some kind of work was distributed to other colleagues in different locations. Okay. Second thing is that how do you study? Because this, as Raghu said, that initial days is very difficult. Okay, because you start with problem solving, you start with accounting, and honestly, problem solving was not too difficult for me, but accounting was completely a new thing altogether. Okay, so I never saw a balance sheet properly in my life before that. So it was difficult to some, but the curiosity to learn, because that is one thing that we all signed up for when we do the course, is that the curiosity to learn and read it is very important to drive this. It should not be like a baggage that you have to carry. The moment you see that interest is, then you can go through this reading material. The materials are really fantastic. I still get a chance, and I blame myself for not reading this. But there's a lot of tons of good material to go through, and especially when you get into a bigger responsibility, general manager or something like that, where you would not have the ability to really deep dive into that vertical, and you have to still know about that vertical. So that kind of a curiosity to learn is very important. Third is from a family perspective. So another good thing that I was a bachelor at that time, so I did not have a big challenge to manage that front as well. But overall, what I saw from all of our colleagues, yes, the first, as Raghu said, the first term will be difficult. Okay, definitely difficult, because you may not be used to wake up in the night and do this kind of activities, read, study, work on the assignments. But later on, it start becoming a habit. Okay, and post that you will find a lot of time. Okay, what I realized is that yeah, we had a lot of time which we were not utilizing. Okay, so much of study you can do in this 18 months or whatever the duration was. So that means we have real bandwidth to really learn a lot of things, which later on we discovered. And if some of you do the course, you will also figure it out, which we will waste in some other activities but can be utilized. So I would say balance is it's just a mental once you get into the groove. And right now you are in the groove, and you know how you got into the groove, and it will continue. So, and then you will enjoy actually. And one more thing I would emphasize here: it is not only study and study. Okay, there's a lot of fun. Okay, you get into the campus, there will be the some evenings you will have parties together, you enjoy. So some smart guys will be there who will be a musician or a singer or something like that, and you will have a fun time also. It is not and that fun time is very interesting, because we had those fun times when we were I would say teenagers or early 20s, when we were in the college, right? And this is like, no, if you see these guys, no, he's a CFO, okay, but then he is playing prank, and you cannot. It's so enjoying, okay, because otherwise these guys look so serious. Huh? They are big bosses in their company, but when we meet together, and there's a lot of fun, and that fun continues today. Also, we get together once in a year, and we enjoy the same spirit. So it is not that oh my god, it's too much of study and all these things. There's too much of fun also which comes along with it.
No, absolutely. And I can't stop echoing with any of whatever you both have said. And I think it is a full balance. I think it's all individual level how they handle it. But yeah, I think with a lot of studies comes a lot of fun too. And I really can't disagree on the fact that nobody can somebody sees from a distance, nobody can say that they're, what do you call it, in that case, they're a bunch of adults working at a senior position in the organization. This is the way the fun happens. It just looks like going back to school and college days. And to follow up on that, my next question, staying at campus, right? How does it brings back your college memories? I mean, how do you feel like, while at certain age of your career and whatever, but then still, what do you call living a campus life? So what's your experience on, staying on campus and living back the college life after so many years of leaving it technically? And then, like in that, what do you call, networking with the cohort members and the like professors around. So what's your experience and what's your advice on that? Arijit, let's start with you.
Yeah, as I told in the beginning itself, that this is one of the very unique structure that ISB had created. And I will definitely say that 1 week of campus is extremely interesting, okay, and extremely helpful in creating the bonding, okay, because if it was not that, you see a regular executive MBA where you walk into the campus on a weekend and then leave on for your home, okay, so that bonding does not happen. Those jokes do not play, okay, in the evening. Those fun does not happen. Those great moments do not happen where you personally know the other person's challenges. The friendship does not happen. You do not enjoy the with it, you suddenly discover the kid in yourself. Okay, so suddenly you see that while in college, everybody does that. In the when the professor is in front, everybody is serious. But then once they go out, they either sometimes do some caricature of the professor, or say this is how it was done, or play a prank how that guy was giving an answer in the class when he was not asked to supposed to answer. A lot of in class excitement. Okay, is very interesting to see. And then some guys drowsy, not feeling drowsy, and people playing. I'm not saying that that is the only thing. What I'm saying is that creates a strong bonding. Okay, these bondings are not that you shake hands and then the bonding happens. This happens on the in the corridors, in the cafe, and that can only happen if it is in campus. Okay, if it is a virtual session, okay, and people all we all wear masks, okay, we all look very serious. We are doing business transaction, okay, we cannot just joke with our customer and all these things, right? So over a period of time, 10, 15, 20 years, now people have become too serious, okay, but slowly when they open up that evening, having a little of wine and just making those gossips, and you suddenly discover the kid in yourself. And those kids, psychology says that the way kids can bond, okay, nobody can bond, okay. Kids do not know the language of their friend, okay, they do not know their religion, their caste, anything, but there's a strong bonding, and because they are kids, okay. And this in campus thing brings the kid inside you, okay. You start doing those things as you would have done as a kid, though physically you are grown up now. So I would say that was a very, very important part of the course. And that is one of the very successful structure that has led to this. Even the professors also enjoyed, okay, because they flew in, they stayed in the campus, though, and sometimes they also joined the party, okay, they liked it, okay, and enjoyed the way that people, senior guys all are, mixing together, having a fun time, and then coming back to the classroom, and then submitting their assignment. You will, I'm sure all of you have gone through this. We suddenly become very particular of getting marks. Okay, you will see that how crazy people were saying that, oh, I did not get this mark, this went wrong, and we were saying, oh my God. At this age, we are also thinking about this 2 marks, 3 marks that got deducted. Okay, so why it has happened? Because the kid in our inside has has come out, and then we are doing like that, and that was very interesting to see. And later on, when you reflect back and you say, but then these guys as friends, they were not your school friends. Okay, they were neither your college friends, but that kind of bonding still happened because it was an in-campus session.
Yeah. Absolutely. Again, considering you would have done it while I'm on this side, I feel like it's so much echoing with me. Every word echoes with me, like as if it's like 110% true more than anything else. But great, absolutely. So Raghu, yeah, how's your experience been?
Yeah, so I think apart from whatever Arijit has said, what I'll add is, you know, everybody keeps, saying network is very important, and but you actually understand the value once you reach there in the classroom. You understand how to build your network, and you understand the importance of having a network when you're out of ISB. So, for example, and I would actually put more emphasis on actually building a network with your cohort to begin with during these classroom sessions. And the reason is, very simple. It ties to the first discussion that we had about ROI.
Yeah.
So, at our experience level, growth can happen mostly through networking. Problems can be solved through networking. And I had people who advised me on various things. In my cohort, we used that time to actually discuss use cases over a cup of tea during the breaks. And so one aspect is how the bonding develops. Definitely there's no two ways about it, because I feel now the friends I made during with my cohort we are as close as my what I was with my school friends. So, but the other aspect is equally important of how it actually gives you an opportunity to develop your network, which is very critical.
Again, absolutely. I think the whole concept of staying on campus and being with your cohort members almost 24/7. I mean, if not completely, right? It's more like it gives us enough opportunity to kind of speak and understand each other's area of work, what they've been doing, even both personally and professionally, and I think build up your network, and which is one of the, I think, key ROIs most of us will get at the end of the course, if nothing
and
else.
and especially for people coming from diverse backgrounds, and this kind of a cohort actually gives them an opportunity to understand where they fit in,
Yeah,
ask a lot of questions, and take help, prepare, use their help to prepare for interviews, a whole lot of things. It gives you a complete package of possibilities.
agreed. Absolutely. So cool. So I think with just a quick reminder to all the folks on the call. So feel free to chip in your questions, guys, on the Q&A, and we'll take it up. Okay. Yeah. Perfect. So moving on to a little bit more serious question. More than serious, I think it's more like from the fun question to slightly more, serious part. So Arijit, again, back to you. How this course has helped you to, to take on a CXO role now, considering it's your organization, how that, aligns with the learnings from PGPMAX into having this CXO role that you've taken up in your own venture. So what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I would, as I said, that the the major of interest of doing this course was to have a complete roundabout view about the various businesses, various verticals, which completes a business, and that was the major intent of doing this course. Okay, and post this course, I would not say that this hasn't this has made me take this position, because entrepreneurship is a very different journey altogether. I would not say that without this course I could not become an entrepreneur. On the other side, I would say that being an informed entrepreneur, okay, is better than you just jump onto uncharted water, right? So suddenly you understand that there's a accounting side, there is a the other divisions, whether it is, in my case it was not supply chain, but there's well definitely a distributor network, and all this understanding was very easy for me to visualize the things. It's like I have seen it already in the class, right? So it was not like suddenly you discovered that, okay, the accounts guy is saying that this is how you have to put up your balance sheet and what are these things. So you, the because as a senior person, no, you need to ask the right questions. That's very important,
Yeah.
right? So that no, you will also have people in your team who will be responsible for doing that work. But knowing what they are doing is very important, right? So I would say that has definitely helped. Networking, as Raghu has said, and there's, I cannot overemphasize the fact, but it is very important that networking definitely. But networking is not part of your the so-called curriculum. Okay, that comes along and additionally to it. Okay, but what you study in the class or what is explained, it's not theoretical. Okay, because those faculties who come, they also have applied those things, okay, in some form or other with the industry. Plus the folks in the class, because I did not come with a financial background, but you you meet the CFOs of different companies and discuss about these things from the financial perspective. So what is given in the book, and then these are the veterans in the industry, okay, so you can just quickly, it like a fast digestion mechanism. Instead of you have to read everything and understand, and here's the one of the veteran who has done all these things, and you speak, have a cup of coffee and chat with him and show him this is where I am not able to understand, and then you get the things done. Okay, so I would say that quick fast learning definitely helps. Plus, once you have all this overall understanding of the business side of it, right, and the various divisions which you have never managed or never seen in your life, right, suddenly becomes clear to you. And for me, as an entrepreneur, I would have to discover all these things, okay, in the the hard way. And I say that, okay, I have already seen it played out, and now I can see in practical. So whatever, most of what is taught, whether it is part of the strategy, whether it's part of marketing, whether it's a part of your financial accounting and all the things, some or other way, it is, I have been able to lucky to apply all these things in my role, my job that I am responsible in.
Great. What's better than if you can apply all the learnings in some way or the other? I think nothing's better than that. So I think it brings the whole circle completely. Great.
Yeah.
So Raghu, I think from your perspective, again, coming from an army background and what you were doing with an MBA, slightly later than what people would have done it, and then how this program has helped in your entrepreneurial journey. Well, you already started your venture while doing the program. So I think that's going to be interesting side to understand how that
Yes.
all came together.
Right. So I think that is where the PGPMAX policy of having the work experience cut off actually helps. Because I feel to extract the maximum value from this course, you need to have certain amount of work experience.
Yeah.
You need to understand how businesses run.
Mm-hmm.
And then with the inputs that you get from this course, you understand the big picture, and you can think from the perspective of the top management. So that changes the entire paradigm. It changes the way you approach things. uh, Two things I'll add. Firstly, how it helped me in my startup journey, and second is how I have seen it help my peers in the corporate. So firstly, like I said, each and every term that we did, every course that we did helped me in some way or the other, in my business, whether it is the pricing strategy or it is how to negotiate with my vendors. A whole lot of things. There were things that I picked up from each and every course. It gave me a lot of credibility when we were entering a room with investors. So they can see the difference. They look at you in a different way, they talk to you in a different way, they ask you different questions.
Yeah.
It's at a different level when you compare it to maybe just the youngsters or just the engineering graduates who do who are there. So it also equipped me to speak in the language that the investors understand, speak in the language that a finance guy will understand. So you can actually put on a different hat based on the guy sitting in front of you. So you can talk in the lingo of a sales guy. If you're with a a distributor, you'll talk in the language. You're able to appreciate what what would drive that guy. Similarly, what the investor is looking for. So you're good with your financial modeling. You're able to answer all questions. And lastly, it gave me a very handy pool of advisors. I reached out to, you'll not believe it, I reached out to the ex-dean also for advice. And it was very forthcoming. And we have very, very active Telegram and WhatsApp channel. And there are separate channels for the entrepreneurs. All you need to do is just pose your query in the group, and there is someone or the other who's offering help to you immediately. So whether it is building a website, whether it is doing your digital marketing strategy, I cannot tell you how much money and time we have saved. So that's what I meant by when I said that we realized our ROI within the first year or two itself, because these are the things, these are the intangibles which actually add up, and they end up saving you a lot of money, and in the process it also adds to your personal brand as well.
No, absolutely. And I think it's great, as I said, right? Like nothing can be better than applying your learnings right away in your area of work, and then like experiencing uh, benefits out of it. So I think great, and I think a lot of
I'll
good
just add
insights.
one more thing, and ISB did a study with, I think, Forbes or Financial Times immediately after the course, and they did a preliminary study of the CTC before and after the course. And across the board, people reported at least 50% jump in their CTC post graduation, at least in my cohort. So I think that definitely, and if you see the kind of people coming in part of the course, people, they're directors and executive directors from PwC, EY, Deutsche Bank, Pepsi, a whole lot of people. So that means there is acceptance in the corporate also for this program.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great. So I think, yeah, so again, I was almost following up with my question on considering there's no official replacement assistance, but how it's helped. I think I've gotten like pretty much answers considering both from the entrepreneurial side and also from the corporate side. So I think there is enough, credibility of the program like, across industry, and I think in spite of no placements, but there's enough leverage that folks can make out of it as part of their the post-program completion journey. So great. So another, I think what you call very quick, thoughtful question for anybody who wants to enroll into such program. What is the right time to do PGPMAX? I mean, I'm sure that like everybody has their own targets in their career journey, but from your standpoint and from the overarching perspective, what do you think is the best time or the right time to enroll into a program like PGPMAX? Again,
I would say from a years of experience perspective, anybody from 10 to 15 years experience in the industry is a good point. More than that, I would say that you will really not only appreciate the course, but be able to apply it if you have really grown in one particular domain or vertical, and your organization means, I'm not talking about the entrepreneurial side of it. I'm saying if you are planning to grow inside an organization or also changing a job in another company. So it's very important because the next level maybe not, I would say, same vertical that you want to grow, like assistant manager, senior manager. So now you may want to take a more, I would say, a horizontal role. So if you are coming to that point, okay, that's very good. because this course is going to give you that kind of exposure from an overall business standpoint. And then you are better off to move a little bit more on the other vertical and take a general manager's position. So if you are reaching that position maybe before 10 years, because today a lot of I would say the startup companies where it does not take classical industry where you take 10, 12 years to reach to that position. So you have to reaching it by say 7 years, 8 years in your career, and you say, okay, I have been head of this vertical, and I want to grow in that organization further. Right? So if you have hit that point, I think that is the very good time to take this kind of a course.
Absolutely, I think this was very important. I agree. And Raghu, I think from your perspective, what do you
I'll
think?
just add to what Arjit said, and I will probably answer the question in two parts. First is, what is common to everybody, anybody who's thinking of this course, and second is specifically for those guys who are coming from a diverse background. Now, first and foremost, last 3 years, I've been doing a lot of interviews for the incoming potential candidates also. What I've seen is many people don't have a clear vision, long-term vision of what they want to do. And they don't have vision, they don't have clarity on, their knowledge gaps. Why do they want to do the MBA and why at this stage? So they don't have the answer. And I have seen a few people in my cohort also who actually weren't able to actually realize the full value of this course because of that. So if you want to exploit this course to the maximum, do it at a time, one when like Arijit said, when you have reached that stage in your professional career, and two is when you have total clarity on why you want an MBA and what are your long-term goals. Now, the second aspect is, more to do with the people coming from a diverse background. So, for example, an army officer, we've seen in every cohort right now, I've seen at least 2 to 3 people coming from the armed forces or the merchant. So now, now like PGPMAX does not give placement support, and the logic is very simple. The people joining this course are assumed, obviously they're not assumed, they have proven their worth in the corporate. They are shown that they are on the upward growth as far as their career is concerned, and they have support from their corporate. So it would be a conflict of interest for ISB to actually have placements. Number one. Number two is, at that stage you would it is assumed that you would have a good enough network to actually get a job from within your network. But what about people coming from diverse backgrounds? Like myself. So had I not started, my entrepreneurship journey, probably I would have been in the bucket. And I've seen people, in that phase. So there, folks need to be very clear of what they are getting into. If you are good at networking, this is the place, because you are having access to senior folks across sectors. If you are able to leverage it, the sky is the limit. But if you feel that no, it's my growth would be dependent on hand holding or proper placements, then probably this is not the course for you. So that aspect has to be kept in mind.
Absolutely. And I think as long as we all fit in the minimum criteria of the applicability for the course, and rest, I think, as you all have said, right, of any kind of confusion in the further process or so on. So I think we can probably opt in for it. But I think I'll agree with you guys that placement at this at this juncture may not be feasible, because everybody is at a different level, and then providing placements to all 50, 60 plus people across varied background, it's again one more different dimension which ISB will have to probably engage into if at all they want to enter the route. So I think multiple reasons not the
See, again, there have been few people in my cohort who have got jobs because of folks in the cohort,
yeah, absolutely. So I think
and very good at very good levels. So I just saw a question where one of the attendees asked people with 22 years of experience in sales. We had such folks in our class. So the opportunities are not limited to just growth, like Arijit said, growth within their vertical or in their company. It's, you never know what's in store. Don't come with, don't try to micro plan everything and come to ISB. You never know. Maybe you'll meet somebody who might offer you a country head role, considering your pre-sales or business development experience. So we don't have to restrict ourselves to that particular line of business. You can also explore, other sectors as well, where your skills have some synergy. And this is a place where, that can happen.
absolutely lovely thoughts, and I think great. Probably another few questions before we wrap it up. So first, one thing, and I think for this question is pretty close to my heart, right? Considering both of you have entered into the what you call entrepreneurial journey, right? So how did that realization happen, and when you start believing in your idea? Because for the most part, even if we want to do our own stuff, sometimes we don't have clear ideas, and even if we have, we don't believe in that, considering either it is already being done or we don't have full, what you call bigger picture. So how did that realization happen that you have to do your own venture? And then second is, when did you start believing in the idea that, okay, fine, this is what it is, and this is what I want to kind of go ahead with? And then how do you build up confidence over time? So if in case either of you can pitch in some idea, but this is pretty close to my heart, so I really want to kind of understand how things have worked out for both of you. So Arijit, we'll start from you.
Okay. So I remember a lot of people asking me that, why don't you do this as a part-time exercise? Why don't you check whether the idea, because I was in Schneider Electric is completely electrical and industrial automation, so it has nothing to do with the education. Okay, so the question was why, what was the intent behind it, right? And the intent was very, 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 I would say, though it was a business school, but when I started with this, it was less self and more to the creating a difference in terms of the core education. Okay, so now we it was something that we know very, very clearly what is the gap in the quality of education, and the idea was, how do I improve that quality of education, right? So idea was very clear. Okay, the conviction was there, and say entrepreneur journey is all about belief. Okay, the belief in yourself that no, you will be able to make this, right, is the first and foremost thing. Okay, rest definitely is there, validating that idea, ensuring that there is a large enough market. These are all very standard questions which a VC will ask you, and what is the TAM and all this, no? But definitely, doing this course definitely helps you to understand all these things in more a scientific way and a more analytical way. But I would say that it was more of a conviction to do this. Okay, and I also felt that this was the right time, because I was at a age where I felt that this is where I can take that risk and get into some uncertain areas. Okay, now, second thing that I would say from an entrepreneurial side is that entrepreneurial is 200% of your time. Okay, so some people say that no, you can go to office and still do some, and I have seen a lot of people still trying to do this. Okay, and I have not has got a single situation where it has become successful. Okay, because it always becomes your hobby work. Okay, and entrepreneur is more than 100%. So what time you give in a regular job, in a corporate job, you have to understand it is, you just multiply by 2 at minimum. It can be more even. So and this will only happen if there is a conviction that you are now with a mission in mind that you are trying to do. Rest, it is very important to know what, after doing all these calculations and computations, that 9 out of 10 startups do not succeed. So that is reality, okay? And that is excitement, that is enough of risk, okay? And I would definitely not suggest people to take this path unless you have validated those aspects. That are you convinced? Are you able to take the risk? What kind of liabilities you have currently? And don't just get driven because Bansal has done this or that guy has done that and all this. Please don't get carried away. It is really a very difficult path to tread, okay? At the same time, the faith, the conviction, why you are in this journey, if that is always motivating you, you will wake up the next morning and get into work. I remember in the regular corporate job, and I still talk to my friends who are in the regular corporate world, and I know that it is very well defined. You know what you have to be. In an entrepreneur world, it is completely random. Okay, suddenly you get a call. Okay, and you feel that this customer will bail you out. Okay, this is the right investor that you are talking about. So you are in a very uncertain time. Okay, and only this conviction, definitely the numbers are behind to help you, but the faith, the belief that you are on a mission. And like in army you will say that you go on a mission, right? And same thing is here in this world, okay? But at the same time I alert people who are in their comfort zone and do not have to definitely get into this path, okay? ISB provides enough for them to grow on their career, okay? Through networking, as Raku said, you can grow. We have seen our friends who have joined their other friends' company in very senior roles, and it's good, okay? And but then, if you really want to get into this journey, also, it's equally this information, the course gives you that kind of the arms and ammunition to get into your mission.
Absolutely. So very well put.
I'll just add to what Arijit said. About apart from the willingness to take risk, which is the biggest factor, have funds to last at least 3 years, and most importantly, your family should be willing to back you for 3 years.
Yes.
So both in my case, Sujit, my co-founder, he had another startup in US and then he returned back to India. He was already in that mindset. His family was in that mindset. It wasn't a very big shift for him. For me it was, but having come from the army, I was more comfortable taking risks, because the problem that we wanted to solve was very close to our hearts. And it's a very simple problem of how do you measure the engagement, attention levels of kids in the classroom, and the engagement levels of the teachers in the classroom using technology. Now, the technology that we developed for this, the core technology, now we have developed use cases across sectors. So, what we started off very passionately, like Arijit, we also started in the tech space. And of course, you should be agile, not get stuck with the founders bias that I have to make this idea work. Be agile, and wherever opportunity is there, wherever the water flows, just take your firm there. So we had use cases across sectors. So that was where I was working in, that was where I was taking help from my peers, the professors, the experts in those areas, to basically understand the market, for not only the market for the idea, but also the product features. So all this is possible when you are given access to the ecosystem that ISB provides.
Great. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. One last question before we wrap it up, and I know we are heading towards the end of the time also. So one last question, and I think for all the people who are our, what do you call, your prospective folks to join PGPMAX over next year and so and beyond. What are your advice to all the prospective folks, what do you call, to opt in for this program? Any recommendations, any suggestions? But Raghu, we'll start with you on this one, if in case you want to share something.
Sorry, can you repeat the question, Swati?
I'm saying, what is the advice that which you guys will give to our prospective folks who want to join PGPMAX program over next year or so, and even beyond, for that matter?
Right. So, first and foremost is be very clear what you actually want out of this course. Is it that you want to reach a certain designation in 5 years' time? Have realistic goals, because at the end of this, you're not going to get placed and you're not going to drive out of the campus in a Mercedes. So your expectations have to be realistic. So what is going to happen is ISB is going to give you an opportunity to learn what is required. It is going to give you an opportunity to interact with people who could make a difference in your lives. And it's up to you how you leverage that. And it's all the ingredients are there. It's how you use it to make the recipe of your choice is up. It's up to your skill and talent. And I think the couple of questions which I saw is concerning people with more than 20 years of experience. In my cohort, I think 40% of my course, including myself, we had more than 20 years of experience when we started the course. And across the board, whether it is 12 years or 20 years, what I've seen is it has benefited people with more experience more.
Yes.
And because at a senior level, there is dearth of talent, and I have seen people getting absorbed, at senior levels very easily. So I hope I have, addressed their questions in the chat.
Yes, you did. Thank you. Arijit, your thoughts,
Yeah, I
please.
agree completely what Raghu is saying. And yeah, why you are joining the course is very important. No, it is not that why this course is, why you are in this course is more important. So that is a self question that everybody can ask themselves. Am I looking for a career growth perspective? Because career is just not a placement. Okay, career means that you are equipped with the right set of knowledge. Okay, because it's like preparation meets opportunity and you become successful. Okay, so how much are you prepared? Okay, because opportunity will knock your door. Okay, but are you prepared for this? And that is where this knowledge will help you, that you will have the right set of skills. Okay, second is that the as some of you have raised that you have a lot of experience, and should you get into the course, and that's where the industry is looking for, is that experienced people has to be loaded with the right knowledge, because the world is changing rapidly. Okay, it is not only a technology change which is happening, it is overall the business frontiers are changing rapidly, right? So when you can come to a course like this, you learn these things from various I would say experts who are in their field, and you become a well-rounded, well-groomed professional. Now you are better off, because see, if I look from a just some of people who always think through from a career growth is just by joining another organization with a better pay package, right? For all those folks as well, it is very true, because if you are equipped, the headhunters will find you out. Okay, they will figure it out very soon that this guy has done, because you will definitely do something noteworthy after applying this thing in your regular job itself. Okay, your organization from where you are will recognize this, because you will not remain in the same rut where you were before and after. So you will definitely see those, you will ask those questions, right? You will say that can take more responsibility, I can grow in a senior leadership, I can become the president of this organization, country head of this organization. These kind of thing, motivation will definitely be there within you, and you will apply these things more inside your organization than exploring it outside the organization. The more you start exploring this inside your organization, either the organization considers you and gives you, or if they do not give you, you become more and more confident, and those headhunters that connect with you will definitely take you to a place where you are more rightfully required. Okay, so to this question, why I am doing this executive MBA is an internal question. Okay.
Yeah.
But whether I should do it in ISB PGPMAX, that I can answer is this is the finest course in its entirety. Okay, till date, I think some people reach to me to take some kind of advice. Hey, I've applied. Should I join? Should I go for it? So they compare with some of the courses, but I would say from a course perspective, if you're decided that yes, I am a candidate for an executive MBA, then this course is the finest course that you can opt for. Okay, and rest on the ROI and all these things we have already discussed, so I will not get into it. It is convincing yourself whether you are prepared to get into this course. The course will definitely, it is like a ramp. So for a takeoff, you get into the ramp, right? So now you're on the ramp, you're on the accelerating path, and you can take off from this ramp in a better way if you are equipped with the right set of skills and knowledge.
Absolutely, and thank you. And I think again, I know I've said the same thing again and again across the entire of a conversation. I can't echo more with any of your thoughts because it's been absolutely spot on, and everything has been kind of so accurate, and I can absolutely vouch for it. While I've gone through this whole journey over last 1.5 years from applying to getting into and now doing the course, absolutely spot on. And I think thank you so much for your time today. And I had a really engaging conversation. I'm glad to meet you and know both of you. So I think I'm already increasing my connection and networks even from these forums for that matter. So I think truly appreciate your presence today on a Saturday evening. And I think for answering all the questions so patiently. So much appreciated. And I think we'll wrap these sessions now. And I think we'll drop a note for all of our people who joined on Zoom with a link for one-to-one chats from the admission standpoint. So we'll drop that message here for folks to kind of reach out to us in case of any questions. And with that being said, again, thank you so much, Raghu. Thank you so much, Arijit. Much appreciate your time today on a Saturday evening. Hope you have a good, remaining weekend, whatever is left, and hope to see you and meet both of you in person sometime soon. So yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Swati.
Thank you very much, and I hope it was helpful.
Absolutely, it was. I'm sure it was great for me and for everybody else who joined. So much appreciated. Much thank you.
Bye.
Yeah, see you. Thanks everyone. Yeah, have a good day. Have a good evening.
Everyone. Thank you.